When Chuck Jonkel died on April 12, 2016, few people realized the white-bearded old guy selling hand-woven flower leis at the farmer's market had revolutionized the world of grizzly bears. Jonkel wasn't the first biologist to make a career studying Ursus arctos horribilis, but he found his passion just at the time when North America's most fearsome native predator was about to vanish from the lower 48 United States. He taught, researched, and sometimes fought with almost every grizzly bear expert now working in the Pacific Northwest, where federal government designated grizzly bears a threatened species under the Endangered Species Act in 1975. Along the way, he founded an international wildlife film festival that demolished the nature faker style of outdoor documentary movies in favor of presentations with scientific rigor and ethical backbone. He even helped organize the farmer's market, where he sold his flower necklaces. Chuck knew as much or more about the natural history of bears in general than probably anybody in the world at that time, recalled Dan Pletcher, who went on to lead the University of Montana Wildlife Biology Department that Jonkel did so much to popularize. And he acted, in a lot of ways, like a grizzly bear. He knew what plants were edible. He would scratch his back on a tree like a bear when talking to a class in the field. He was a consummate naturalist. When Jonkel started his grizzly research in 1969, finding one meant spending long summers along the Canadian border in some of the most remote bits of the lower 48 states. As this book was going to press, those grizzly bears have become much more visible to the humans who have come to dominate that habitat in a very different way than the prehistoric apex predator. Jonkel also spent years giving workshops for the bear-fascinated public. I date much of my interest in grizzly bears to a weekend class he taught on the edge of Glacier National Park. Hearing about the man for years didn't lessen the oddity of meeting him. He wore a blue cotton shirt and jeans that looked like they'd been laundered alongside a creek with rocks. A tuft of chest hair poked out of the collar, as white as the unruly mass of his head and beard. He didn't look scary, but definitely bear-like. His high, wispy voice knocked all that grizzly aura askew. It missed the Mutual of Omaha Wild Kingdom gravitas like an opera singer on helium. It wasn't actually a helium quack, just an incongruously breathy tenor emanating from a basso reputation. Because Chuck Jonkel was the guy about grizzly bears. And in class that morning, he laid claim to his experience with a grizzly bear skull. Grizzly people have all the best show-and-tell stuff. They bring the huge hides and the claws and the plaster-cast paw prints bigger than your head and the skulls with the teeth. Then they get to explain how those flying cheekbones scaffold the muscles that allow a grizzly to snap a cow's neck. And then Chuck pointed out the little hole in the eye socket. This skull belonged to a grizzly Jonkel had accidentally caught in a black bear trap. The leg-hold trap was attached to a chain with a grappling hook, and the bear ran until it snagged on a tree it couldn't pull over. Jonkel and a fellow biologist caught up with it, and he moved in to subdue it with a tranquilizer dart. Before he could fire, the grizzly broke free of the drag and charged. The backup man with the shotgun fell over. Jonkel was standing in front, packing a .22 caliber Colt Woodsman pistol in addition to the dart gun. This is a great handgun, highly prized at gun shows for holding collectible value. It's perfect for plinking beer cans and the occasional grouse. Jonkel pulled his .22 and shot the grizzly bear in the head. The bullet hit the bear between the eyes and bounced right off, barely breaking the skin. It did, however, halt the bear's charge for about a second. For whatever reason, Jonkel didn't get out of the way to give his partner a clear field with the shotgun. The grizzly gathered its wits and lunged again. Jonkel shot it again in the head. Same result.